Hosea is an amazing book. When I was going through some of the worst parts of the divorce and everything, God was putting homeless people in front of me everywhere I went. Like I was seeing them, and I was unemployed. I was, going through bankruptcy, and it was a rough. I came to Texas broke, homeless, divorced, bankrupt, and living in a Dodge Stratus with everything I owned in it, ready to put a bullet in my head in 2003. That's where I was. But prior to that, ending up in that situation, I was seeing homeless people all over the place, and I finally got a job, finally got some money in my pocket, and God was telling me to give it away every time I saw somebody. And I was headed to the post office to run an errand, and I saw this guy standing there, and I just got my first paycheck in forever, and God said, give it to him. I'm like, hey. I said, all right, Father, well, I don't want to just enable somebody, so if this guy's legitimate and really needs it, let him still be there when I come out of the post office. And, if he's just a peddler looking for drugs or whatever, wants money for drugs, have him walk off. So I did my thing. I came out. He's still there. I saw him. I said, why don't you come in? It was a hot day. Come sit with me in the car. I was in a van. He sat in the van with me. And I said, what's your story? And he started to tell me his story. And as he told me his story, it was my story. He was telling me, I'm like, and I start crying. He's like, what's the matter? I said, well, you're where I'm about to be. And he says, you need to read the book of Hosea. I'm thinking, what? That's like Habakkuk. I mean, like, who reads those, right? That's why I was at that. Because we were New Testament Bible believing Christians, Hosea. And this guy preaches to me for half an hour. And I'm like, wow, man. So we're both crying, we're both praying. And I gave him the money and sent him on his way. And then I was sitting in the van just weeping again. And then I look out and he's not there. I'm thinking, oh boy, did I just entertain an angel unaware here? What's going on? Turns out about 2 years later, he calls me. He wasn't an angel. He turned out to start a homeless ministry and was doing a whole thing. And he called me 2 years later to tell me that the seed that I sowed had what it had done. And I have to believe that when God does stuff like that, you're sowing seed for something, that you reap what you sow. When he was putting homeless people in front of me that whole season, it was because I was about to become homeless. And then when I was homeless, people did for me what I had done for the people before that.